So following on from my video last week, I wanted to stick on the Six Nations theme, and in this one I want to do something similar to what I did in the autumn about what constitutes success going into this Six Nations, because let's be fair, we're not going to be competing for the championship, but what is going to be, we get to the other end and we think that was a good Six Nations for us and we've seen an improvement. The first one is an improvement in the defence. Now the defence I thought was going to tighten up for the autumn, given the fact that Tandy is a defence coach. They did allude to the fact that they tried to just drill down on the attack because Matt Sherratt had been the one who'd been there for the longest period of time working with that group. But the defence was really disappointing, you have to say. Leaked so many big scores over the entire autumn, bar the Japan game. But overall, we leaked 200 points in 4 games. I mean, that's ridiculous, and it's just not acceptable at international level if we want to be taken seriously by anyone. And if you zoom out our last 5 home games as well, that actually balloons up to 268 points conceded. So I know the England game wasn't under Tandy, but I mean, that is really stark reading. So we want to see these gaps. If we're not winning games, we want to see these gaps closing. France tonked us by 40 plus points last year, of course the England game. If we can see the defence tightening up and make us a lot harder to beat, then we've saw that the attack is capable of causing trouble for defences. So I want to see that improvement, and there was a lot of missed tackles, and that needs to be cleaned up as well, because, you know, missed tackles to me is almost a bit of an attitude. You can have a team that misses so many tackles and then they get a new coaching and they just all of a sudden they're nailing every tackle. So I think that might be a system thing, something for them to work on, something to look at. But the defence really needs to shore up. The second point is I want to see an improvement in the line out. And I know that sounds like quite a niche thing, but over the whole of the autumn, we were operating at 85.5 line out success over the average of 4 games. That was only bumped up really because against South Africa, ironically, we hit 100% of our line out. But the previous 3 games were all around the 80% mark. I mean, only winning 80% of your line out is just a coach killer when you get into the corner and you think, right, we're going to maybe get them all going or something, or launch an attack in the 22 where we were pretty clinical in fairness, and then just mess up the line out, whether it was overthrown or the jumper didn't get high enough, or losing the ball when we're coming down to secure it for the maul. That happened a few times. We got to clean that up because it's literally just wiping our entire momentum out of the game. My third point is I don't want to see us getting physically dominated anymore. Like, it's alright, everybody knows we're not a big team, we haven't got the big massive bruises, we don't really create them in Wales. But since the World Cup, the last 2-3 years, we've been pretty much bullied physically in almost every game. And I am really sick of seeing us losing the arm wrestle. And, I know we can't all of a sudden magic up some big bruises. But, we've got big guys in our team. I'm looking at Adam Beard. He's huge, but he doesn't carry, and when he does, he's very ineffective. Now, to me, that's attitude, because you're big enough and you've got the weight. Throw yourself into stuff. We've got players like Wainwright and Cracknell. They're flying into everything. Dewi Lake, for example, he is a big guy, but the way he carries the ball, he is so ferocious with his carries. And my best example is Jack Morgan. Jack Morgan is not the biggest guy, but never, ever accepts that the tackle has been completed until he's on the floor and he presents the ball. He is pumping the legs, he's wriggling, he's doing whatever he can to get over that gain line. And I feel sometimes some of the players don't offer that. And that to me is just a pure attitude. Carrying the ball, you have to have a nasty attitude about you. And sometimes I feel like we go through the motions, and I don't want to see that anymore. And on that point as well, this plays into the defence, which we talked about earlier. We're not really getting off the line and getting up and smashing people. You'd see once or twice man would come up and make a big hit, but no one's really coming up and putting that dominant shot on. And that's something I want to see more of. If we don't have the big guys, let's get off the line and get in their face and really make this physical and difficult for oppositions, because at the moment we are just getting bullied every time we play, and you get big men coming down the channels and we're not getting up and meeting them. We're waiting for them to come, and then they're getting us over their gain line, and it's making it really difficult for the defence. So up the physicality. I don't care if you've got to be nasty or niggly or whatever, just whatever it takes to just up that level of physicality. And then the last point is the most simple one, and probably the most obvious one that everyone's shouting. We need to win a game. We need to win at least one game. I mean, if we could win 2, that would really constitute a big push forward in where we've been. And let's not win the wooden spoon for 3 years in a row. We went 20 years without winning it, and then we've won it 2 years in a row, which is embarrassing enough. And let's change the narrative. If we come out of this Six Nations having another wooden spoon with no wins, it just continues with the bad feeling in Welsh rugby and the apathy. No one cares. If we see them win a game and see us perform, I think that'll really be enough to start pulling people back in, because let's be honest, we all want to support Wales. There's people who don't really watch now, but they want to watch, but they just can't take watching us lose anymore, which is fair enough. So I just want to see us win a game. If it's 1, I would take 1. If it's 2, I would be really happy. I know that might sound negative, but let's be fair. We're not going to beat France, not going to beat Ireland, not going to beat England. If we can get into the other 2 teams and actually get a victory out of it, I'll be over the moon. But that's my 4 points. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one.